I'm just gonna start this review here for Couch Critiques with one simple word here. Django! Django! Alright, so you obviously know this is my review for Django. Um, lot, and this movie's created a lot of buzz. I been wanting to do a review for this for a while, but I've been watching so many movies that I've been kept off track doing actual reviews. I'm liking to do these top five, there are more coming, guys. I see like Belay Miz one, more coming. But I want to get back to a couple reviews, and one of them I really want to review was Django. Um, this movie is great. It's getting crap from a lot of people where the harshness of it, and the gore, and the way it depicts the violence and the racism, and I find this funny considering it's depicting a time where all of that existed. This is not like, there's been a big controversy of the use of the N word, and I think people are forgetting that this was like 1863 in Tennessee and Mississippi. What do you think they called them? Do you know what I mean? These weren't, this is the way it was, unfortunately. And I think in that aspect, you can't blame Tarantino for using a word that at that time was completely accepted um, in the context. So I honestly had no problem with that. I thought that people getting upset about it, it's I don't know. I'd like to know who's getting upset. And I tell you, I may get cracked for this, but people could say, "Oh, it's this, that's this." I guarantee you, it's more white people getting upset than it is black people. Because let me just say, I was literally when I went saw this with my fiance, we were like two of four white people that were in the theater. So I don't want to say everybody can like this movie, absolutely, but I'm saying that if you have any kind of common sense, there's no reason this movie should bother you. If excessive violence bothers you, I'd say why would you ever see a Quentin Tarantino film in the first place? As soon as you see his name, I would think you'd say, well, that's not for me. Because this is just like every other film of his where it is excessively violent. There is excessive language, there is excessive violence. This is what he does. Um, I think that if you're going in expecting this to be some sort of, brilliant, sort of Western, it is his take on the Western, but it's a very, it's not. As with Tarantino, as he always does, he mixes genres, and this is honestly like if they made a mixed a Western and a blaxploitation film. I mean, like it's like Shaft in the West, essentially, is what this is like. Is the way I've been describing it to people. Um, if you know the story, Django, slave, um, this bounty hunter, Doctor the King Schultz here, ends up freeing him because he was involved with these other slavers who have prices on their head. So he uses them, becomes a bounty hunter, la 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 la, looking for his wife, so on and so on. Okay, that's the general story. Um, what makes this movie great is not so much the story's okay. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's good. I think more of it is, as with Tarantino, a lot of it is more based on the characters. The dialogue, of course, is great as always in Tarantino movies. It's very funny. There's so many very tongue-in-cheek parts, especially. Um, I'm just not gonna try to give away too much, but the "Do we wear the bag" scene. If you see this movie and you do not think the scene is funny, I don't understand how you're a humorless human being, because this scene literally had everyone in the theater dying laughing. With a little cameo by Jonah Hill, and it was uh, it was very good. The, the dialogue is probably the best part of the movie. Of course, there are other things. the gentleman who played Dr. King Schultz. I want to say his name is Christopher Waltz. I might be wrong on that. I'm going off the top of my head, guys. So if I'm wrong, don't be like, you don't know anything. To be fair, I do these by memory most of the time. So I when you look up an IMDb page, you go, actually, you're wrong. It's like, you're not smarter than me. You're just an idiot who has a computer in front of him. I can't do two things at once. I'm trying to do the review. Okay, fair enough to all the dickheads. Anyways, no, but he was great. I loved him in this role. I thought he as much as I thought Jamie Foxx was good, I thought he was outshined by him, and I do not doubt. I'm not surprised at all that he got the Oscar nod. The only surprise I would say is I thought maybe, I thought Leonardo DiCaprio should have gotten something. He was fantastic as this villain, as Mr. Candy. This has probably got to be one of the most despicable characters he's ever played. I mean, he's just awful as a human being. It's terrible. He's a human car wreck. You can't stop watching him. Like, you're waiting for him to do something else terrible just to be like, oh shit, basically. I mean, he definitely has that oh shit factor. As normal, his movies, I love the way Tarantino shoots his movies. Very fresh, a lot of style. Can that get overwhelming at times? Yes, but if you know what Tarantino is, listen, man, it is a Tarantino movie, is what it comes down to. If you're expecting something different, then don't see this movie. Because this is classic Tarantino. Is it, the best, most fresh, original thing ever? No, of course not. I happen to think that he's been making similar movies for a long time now. They're still good because he's very good at doing what he does, which is mixing genres and making them watchable. He might be one of the people who probably makes the most purely watchable movies in his little niche, at least I'd say. He's just very good at making movies watchable. And it doesn't always have to involve guns and, blood and everything. It's not even that. A lot of it is the humor. Because you can see guns and blood and people blowing up anywhere. All of his movies have this, some outrageous humor scene that usually makes the entire movie. So, overall, I'd say this is a great movie. If you're looking, this was definitely a fun, good movie. There's some pretty horrible parts with the slavery parts. Yeah, those are pretty rough. Obviously not for kids. My God, don't take your kids to see this movie. But other than that, for adults, there's some parts that are rough to watch, pretty rough to watch. But as an overall experience, this movie is great. It brings it all together. I think once again Tarantino has a gem. One of my favorite movies he's done in a while, actually. Kind of has like a Jackie Brown in the West type feel. So altogether, I'm gonna give it a solid. We're gonna give it an 8.3. An 8.3. I know it sounds wacky. I'm just making up numbers, but 8.3 is what I feel. It's almost an 8.5. Could have been a little bit better. Just little things that I would have changed maybe, but for the most part, brilliant film. As usual, Tarantino doesn't usually disappoint, I think, for the most part. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed my review here at Kyle's Critiques. I will have more coming and more top 5 lists coming in probably a couple days, and I think I'm going to be doing the Hobbit review next. So that's going to be interesting because apparently it was not that well received by a lot of people. So, but I hope you subscribe if you can. If you have any comments, I will read them. And until next time, thanks a lot, everybody.